Lovers, welcome back to TMO Show. Yes, it's still your girl, Mary, and like I would always do, welcome new subscribers. You're welcome to the family. We need a fan base name. I mean, TMO lovers, TMO warriors, whatever. Anyway, that's just a joke. So welcome back, guys. This is still your favorite channel on YouTube. Today on the channel, I will continue with where I stopped from my last video. Like I said, this is a 4-part video. I've shared why we moved to the UK and how we moved. On the channel today, I will be sharing things to do before you move to the UK. So once you've decided that you're coming to the UK, I'm going to be giving you a roadmap, step by step, things to do before you move to the UK. So very quickly, know your why. Now, know your why. Why do you want to move to the UK? Do you want to work here? Do you want to study here? Is it just for study? Do you want to eventually use it to jackpot? Do you want to eventually be able to settle in the UK? Do you want to just come here and just experience culture? Whatever it is, know your why, because that would influence the other decisions that you would make. So if it is for studies and eventual jackpot, you're welcome. You know that UK is not like Canada, that when you come to study, that's counting towards permanent residency. It doesn't work like that in the UK. Yes, even for somebody who is married to a British person, it doesn't automatically mean that you have jackpot, you have automatically become a citizen. So the UK is quite particular about citizenship and permanent residency. So know your why. Now, the next thing is, once you've decided this is why I want to come to the UK, you begin to research. So if it's for job, if you want to come and work in the UK, please be very, very clear about that and research all possible ways. It saddens my heart that a lot of people don't want to research. They just want people to do the work for them, and that's why some people are getting scammed. Quite unfortunate. So if you've decided that you want to come work in the UK, please make sure that you scrutinize every company. The good thing about the UK is that on their website, you have access to companies that are registered in the UK. You have access to companies that sponsor work visa. So you can check out their website. You can get more information from their website with regards to whatever company. Now, if it's studies that you want to do, like I did, please research also. Know the school that you want to go to. All these schools have websites. It makes your life easier. You can check their website. You can see the course that you want to do. You can get to know how much it will cost you. What's the time frame? What's the duration? Now, knowing that you want to relocate to the UK, you need to give yourself a timeline. For myself and my husband, it took us about 3 months. We knew that, we're ready to relocate. So we started everything, I think, around January. And by March, we already had everything sorted. Our visa, our admission, everything was sorted. So you need to be able to also give yourself a timeline, and you can only give yourself a timeline if you know the route that you want to take. For the work visa, I don't know how long that might take, because it might also depend on your employer, right? But for studies, once you have all your documents, once you have everything that the school needs, and especially when it's not in the peak period, because for the UK, their peak periods are usually September. So anything between July, August, September, and sometimes into October, and then November, December, January. So I would say that from August to probably around February, it's like peak period for UK schools, because a lot of students come in, undergraduates and postgraduates, a lot of them come in September and then January intake. So you need to be able to also observe what's the peak period, how do I go about this, how do I sort my documentation. Okay, so that being said, I've said you should also count the costs. Do a rough estimate in your head. Now, very clear things that you need to spend money on. You need to spend money on your school fees. You need to spend money. Good thing about UK schools, at least I'm not sure there's any UK school that collects admission fee. I'm not sure. There's a possibility that some might actually collect, but a lot of UK schools, because I applied to quite a number of UK schools and I didn't have to pay admission fee. That's what you see in the US and even Canadian schools. You have to pay admission fee. But a lot of UK schools, you can apply to as many as you wish. So you need to know what it will cost you, your school fees, your visa fees, your upkeep, because UK does not joke with that though. They need to be sure that you're not coming to be a liability in their country. They need to be very sure. They are not going to say, oh, when this person comes, he's going to work to pay off his school fees. No. Even before your school gives you your CAS, that's confirmation of acceptance of studies, they would need to see proof that you have your school fees okay, complete. They will need to see that you have your upkeep for 9 months. They will need to see that if you're coming with a dependent, a child, a husband, you have upkeep for that person complete. So you need to be sure that you make all these calculations very well. You would also spend money on visa application, spend money on your biometrics, spend money on your IHS, you'll spend money on getting your flight into the UK, tuberculosis test. So let me just give you a rundown of how it usually is. Now, you've decided that I want to study human resource management in, say for instance, Birmingham City University. You've applied to the school. Maybe you did it yourself. Maybe the school has an agent that you reached out to and applied through. You've gotten your admission. Now, usually the next thing that will happen is they will ask you for a deposit. It varies from school to school. My school's deposit was £2,000. For some school, it's £3,000. For some school, it's £5,000. So you need to know the deposit that you have to pay, and it is when you have paid this deposit that the school realizes and sees that you're interested and that you're a serious person. For some schools, they will tell you that the deposit is refundable within this period and this period. For some schools, maybe not. So once you've paid that deposit, then it shows that you have a place in the school. Now, I advise you that if you're looking at coming to the UK, make sure that you have secured an unconditional offer. So there's conditional offer and there's unconditional offer. The unconditional offer says that, oh, we recognize you want to come to our school, we recognize you've given us some documentation, but yet we still need more information, we still need more documents to support your desire to study with us. So when you've given us those documents, we now give you an unconditional offer. Unconditional offer is simple. It means, oh, we realize you're interested in coming to a school, we're accepting you to come study with us, and this and this and this. We have given you an unconditional offer for this course, and then they will tell you how much your fee is, how much your fee is, how much you're supposed to pay for deposit, what your duration is like for your studies. They would give you all of that. So that's more like an admissions letter. So once you've gotten the admissions letter, the next thing to do is pay your deposit. Like I've said, you've applied, they're giving you the offer, you pay your deposit. Once you've paid your deposit, now ideally the next thing is for the school to begin to prepare your CAS. Now they will tell you that before we can issue a CAS, CAS is confirmation of acceptance of studies. Yes, CAS. They'll tell you before we can issue your CAS, you need to give us some documents. So the documents that you would need to give: tuberculosis, your tuberculosis certificate. You need to give your proof of funds. You need to show your proof of funds rather. You need to show any other document that the school requests for. So, but majorly, usually your tuberculosis certificate, your proof of funds, of course, your identification, your ID. So most times they request for your international passport, because that is what they send to UK visas and immigration. So that's what they would use to provide your visa. So you need to send them all these documents. It varies from school to school. So know what your school is asking for before time. And usually they will tell you this before time so that you can get yourself together. Now, I would advise that once you're sure you're paying your deposits, please book for a tuberculosis date, because it's a tug of war, my people. It's a tug of war. You need to be sure that there's a free date. You need to be also ready to go for the test. It's usually a whole day. If you're lucky, you can get your results that day. In some cases, you might have to come back the next day to get your results, to get the certificates. And that certificate shows that, oh, your tuberculosis free. You can come into the UK. So make sure that as soon as you've paid your deposit fee, you go for your TB test. You go for your TB test so that it is ready before school says, okay, give me documents for me to process your CAS. For some schools, they do CAS interview. Because the UK VI usually doesn't do interview for students, I don't think they do for a lot of students. Maybe even your case is peculiar, but for most students coming to the UK, they don't do interview. So schools have taken it upon themselves to do this interview. They ask you questions: why you coming to the UK, what you want to study, how is it related to what you've done in life, your last degree, what was it? Questions like that, basic questions. Maybe if I have time, I will do another video on acing your CAS interview, right? So, but it's nothing to be scared of. You want to come and study in the UK? Good. You answer questions. They will tell you, oh, do you have the finances? How have you gotten this money? What's your plan? Do you intend to come into dependence? Things like that. So the period between getting your CAS and paying your deposits is when you do this CAS interview. Once your documents are complete, you've done your CAS interview, depending on how fast your school processes, your CAS should be out in, well, let me not give you a timeline. To be very honest, I don't want to give you a timeline. It's very specific to schools. So, but it usually doesn't take a long period, especially once you've given them all the documents that they've requested for. Now, once your CAS is out, bagam, the next thing is to apply for your visa. So you can apply for your visa on their website. That's www.gov.uk. Everything that you really need to know about migration, coming to the UK, everything about the UK is on that website. So just follow step by step. If you have questions, you can probably reach out to me. I can assist. I am not an immigration expert, you. I'm just going to assist based on, say, I don't run that line before. You get, yeah. So once you've applied for your visa, it would show you how much you're supposed to pay, ask you questions, ask you for documents. There's a number, there's a CAS number that it will ask you for, things like that. If you're doing with an agent, you might be lucky. The agent will help you. I'm still going to talk about agents and their wahalas, but for now, if you're doing it with an agent, the agent can help you. I did mine myself. My husband and we did it ourselves. Filled it in and put all of that. So once you've done that, it will tell you that you have to pay the immigration health surcharge. That's the IHS fee. It will tell you how much you're supposed to pay. So go and pay that. Nigerians, may God make us lucky in this life. Our naira is actually very, 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 very weak. So having to pay for all of that, and you know that if you use cards a lot, you know that they stopped this Visa card from making international transactions. So you literally have to get a domiciliary card, either in pounds or in USD, to make payments. It's really sad, but now the situation where we find ourselves with that. So going on, you make the payment for IHS, you make payment for Visa. Once that is done, tell you to pick a date for your biometrics. Now, that's not handled directly by the UK government. It's handled, I think they're in partnership with TLS Contact. So you can decide to do your biometrics in, I think they have in Lagos. In Lagos, they have in VI and they have in Ikeja. They also have in Abuja. I learned that Abuja is very easy to use, that there are not so many. It's like it's all Lagos people that want to japa. So Lagos, you can use Ikeja. Ikeja is quite a lot. VI is easier to use, but you have to pay extra to use VI. I think you have to pay 35,000 naira extra per person to use it. But we used it and is easier to access. The whole stress of Ikeja. I learned some people even sleep overnight in Ikeja just so that they can meet up with their biometrics appointments. If you can afford it, please just save yourself the stress. So you apply for your visa. Now, the standard visa takes 15 days. I also give you guys the gist of how we got our visa in 5 days. Yes, it was standard visa. It was to have taken 15 working days, but don't worry, just stay locked. Subscribe, so I don't miss the gist. So you can do standard visa. They used to have super priority and priority before. I think super priority takes 1 day, priority takes 5 days or so. But because of this Ukraine issue, they've put a hold on that. So what you have now is standard visa and takes 15 working days. It can be like, say, this time is dragging. But don't worry, I will tell you guys how to go about it to most likely help you get your visas out very quickly. Okay, so moving on. That being said, you put in for your visa. As soon as a visa decision is made, you're contacted, and I sincerely pray that for everyone trusting God for this, God makes it easy for you. So once you get your visa, make sure that you tell your school, because you also have to inform them. Your school is your sponsor. You can't just come into UK just like that. So carry your school along. Once that is done, please try to book your flight in time. It saves you costs and it also helps you to plan ahead. Yes, so basically that's the roadmap. You apply to the school, you do your TB test, you do your CAS interview, you submit documents for CAS, you get your CAS, you request for your visa, make your visa application, pay your IHS fee, your visa fees. Once your visa is out, you make sure that you book your flight, and voila, you're ready to come to the UK. So another thing that you need to do also is try to sort out accommodation, but I will talk about that majorly in another part of this video, right? So we will talk about how to get accommodation, how to settle down, and how you can get help while doing all of this. Yes, I said I was going to talk about agencies, agents and their wahala. I remember when we applied, my agent said, no, don't say you have a dependent to me that just got married. I'm not wanted to cost my neck. Hello, ma, you want to leave me here? No, it's not possible. So the truth is, it doesn't really affect your decision, the decision whether they will bring you in or not. In fact, UK is a family-oriented place. So the only thing that I would say is, if you know you don't have money for the dependent, don't go and tell them you have dependent, because your proof of funds has to show your living expenses for yourself and for that dependent. If you have 5 dependents, it must show for the 5 dependents. So, and then of course they would ask you questions, they would request some documents for that person. Make sure that your agent knows what he's doing. If your agent tells you A and your instinct is telling you that it's not A, there's a lot of resources online, especially on UK's websites. There are also people that have gone ahead, so you can reach out to them. Is it like this? Is it like this? Some agents also don't know. Some agents have put their people in trouble because they want to use back end to get POF, do this and that. And UK is not, sorry to say, not like some other countries that you can use back and enter. They will catch you, and once they catch you, they will send you back and give you a ban. So make sure that they are not cutting corners for you. Make sure that they are giving you adequate and correct information. And that's why I say you can always cross-check with the school. Cross-check with the school. Every information that you get, make sure that you confirm with the school that it is accurate. You can ask questions. Please always feel free to ask questions. UK and the whole immigration thing thrives on information. You can reach out to people. We're lucky to have some WhatsApp pages that share information. So, and of course, there too, it's not like all of them are UK visa people. None of them was it. So a lot of them were talking from experience. Some were also talking out of a place of content. Just make sure that you sift the information that you get from your agent or from people around. Once you have all your documents complete, once you have your goodie ego, UK would literally not reject you. They don't have they won't, because if they reject you, they will need to give you a reason why, oh, at this point we cannot give you your visa. So make sure that you are very, very sure of every information that your agent is giving you. And if the agent is from the school, you really do not need to pay a dime, because the school pays them to get students, kind of like that. So it's more like a marketing thing. So you can now say, oh, Baba, thank you, so you helped me run this thing, thank you very much, God bless you. But it's usually free for a lot of schools that I know. Yeah. Then also I would say that consult, I mentioned that consult with people who have gone along that route. I want to say a big thank you to my friends Olufemi, Omolara, and quite a number of people that I reached out to. Most people didn't know that we're relocating to UK, because I just wanted it like that. I mean, there's no need to come and be making noise. Wait, humble. So, but I reached out to some of these my friends that I've mentioned, and they were very helpful. How do I do this? How do I do that? So make sure that you consult with people who have gone ahead. And like I've said, if you need help, and I know that I can help with some of the things, I would. I'm not an immigration expert, but I can help you based on my experience. Yeah. Consult with people, give yourself a timeline. We knew how soon we wanted it, so we worked with that timeline. And as I round up and wrap up this video, I would say that everything to God in prayer. One thing that I can beat my chest to say is that at every step of the way, we committed it to God. Even before we started, we committed it to God. Baba God, if this is your will, make it work. Make it easy. Make it easy. And you all know that I'm a faith person. So even before we started it, I sat down with my husband, let us commit this to Baba God and let him lead us. And God made it easy. I wouldn't even lie. God helped us and gave us the grace to be able to surmount every hurdle that came. So make sure that you and God, like this, because it's really not easy having to leave your country, the cost implication, things like that. So just make sure that you have God's leading, God's backing. And once you have that, by the grace of God, everything is really going to be easy. So if you have any questions with regards to all I've said today, please, you can drop in the comment section. If there are things that you want me to clarify, please drop in the comment section. I'll be more than willing to answer you. And please drop all your questions now. Tori, after this 4-part video, I'll most likely be going back to what my channel is really about. Yeah, so all right guys, thank you so much. Ciao, ciao. Please remember to subscribe, share this video if you enjoyed it, and watch out for the remaining 2 parts of this video. Bye.